start off with that, but
No.
start with MLB.
MLB. Opening day. Starting now. It started today, actually. We started yesterday, but today's the first day of all the big slate of games. Jays start tomorrow. Go Blue Jays. Hopefully they win this year. I want to see what your predictions are for each division. Who do you think is going to make it out of the American League? Who do you think is going to make it out of the National League? And who do you think is going to win the World Series at the end of the day? Start with the Mets fan over here on the end.
Okay.
Big win tonight, eh? Big win today.
I don't know if them or the Phillies are gonna win their division. I'm gonna say.
Don't be biased. Just be honest.
I don't know. I think we're gonna win it this year.
Fair.
I think we could beat the Phillies. They've got some aging players. I think obviously the Dodgers are gonna come out of their division. It's pretty obvious. And then I don't know, the Brewers or the Cubs. I'm kind of debating between them.
No,
See, the Brewers kind of remind me of the Winnipeg Jets.
I think
They don't have a lot of star power, but
They
they
could
are a
have the
good
same
team.
fall off. That's why I might put the Cubs.
It's kind of unpredictable. I think the Cubs actually have a really good team. They have Crow Armstrong, they have Suzuki, they have good pitching.
Bregman as well now.
Yeah, now Bregman. So I think if I were to pick someone for the NL Central, I would pick the Cubs. But for the NL West, I'm going with the Phillies. Just because I think they have better pitching than the Mets. And
Yes,
they also
but I don't
have,
know. I really like our batting. I was really impressed
yeah,
today.
me too.
The pitching's a problem, but I think they
but,
can like
you're not
Bichette
gonna
didn't even
score,
have
like,
a good
how many
game.
runs did they score? 11 runs?
Yeah.
You're not going to score that every
we're
game.
not going to allow 7 runs every game as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you might.
No.
To be fair, though,
you might.
this year they added so many bats. Like
But they
added
lost
so many
Alonso,
guys.
right? That's
I
a big
know.
They
loss.
lost
Like, they had a
Alonso,
lot of
but
guys too,
overall, I'm happy with what they did. You had Polanco, you had Robert, you had Bichette,
Yeah.
you had Semyon, who was a former 40 home run hitter. I mean, I'm happy with the batting help they've got, so I think they can win the division.
I think they can't. I think, honestly, for me, they don't have to worry about batting. It's
Not at
more
all.
about their pitching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their batting has never been bad. Even last year, they could score runs.
Yeah.
But it was more about the pitching and how kind of mediocre it was to me. Now I'm like, okay, do I see the Mets making a run this year? I don't see them beating the Dodgers.
No.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's.
I mean, I think the only team that could have a chance against, and call me biased all you want, I think the Jays are the only team that actually have a chance against the Dodgers. Either the Jays, I don't think the Yankees are going to win the AL East. See, I'm going to move to the AL now. I think the Jays win the AL East.
Yes.
Solely on the point that I don't think the Orioles are there. I think they still need some development with their younger players because they are a young team and their pitching needs a bit of help. They did
It's just
get,
a hard division. Like they're
It
not
is.
going
just so
to.
good.
They're not going
The
to finish out
Rays
of Boston.
are
They're
not-
not going to
Rays
finish out
aren't
of the
that
Yankees.
good.
Yeah, the Rays aren't.
The
The
Red
Rays aren't
Sox
good.
aren't there yet. I think the Jays are the obvious pick. And, they have the pitching. Obviously, there's some injuries, but they have the pitching. They have the defense. They have the batting. They have depth in their team. So I could really see them, like, winning the AL East again. Will they make it to the World Series again? That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
But I think we know who's going to win the AL West. I think it's Seattle coming
Yeah.
out there again.
Yeah.
Right?
They'll win that one. I think no
Yeah.
problem. I don't think that's a real debate at all
no.
because who else is really going to beat them? Like
Not Houston.
No, I don't think Houston.
they're
Not anymore. They're too
They're
old.
pretty loaded.
Yeah.
They're pretty loaded.
And Texas, no, they're not.
Texas had their one magic year, and
Yeah, that was a one and done kind
Who
of year
else is
for
in
them.
the AL West? I told him blanking.
Astros, Angels.
Angels,
the
yeah,
Angels
Angels
were
are
not
not
going to do
well.
anything.
Yeah.
It would be cool to see Mike Trout like.
The
on a run,
Athletics
but-
could step up. I think Nick
They could
Kurtz
get a
is
wild
going to
card.
continue
Yeah,
to break
could.
out.
Yeah, I agree with
They
that.
really,
I
really
agree.
could.
How about NL West? We all pick the Dodgers. Yeah. I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Dodgers. For me, I'm going to agree with you. Onto the Cubs win the NL Central, and I want to go. I want to go with the Mets as well. I just feel like that.
I really like the batting this
again.
year.
Like they were so good last year for the first half of the season, and then obviously it all went to shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like if they can just like maintain their start from last year and just keep it going for the whole year, and now they had a Bichette and all these other guys, and I don't know. I just think
See,
it'd be tough for them to not win the division this time.
I don't think
I mean?
that they're much of like. Obviously, they got Robert. They got Bichette. They got
Polanco as
Semyon.
well,
They got
yeah.
Polanco. Obviously, those are some good like batting key pickups that they did need to like bolster their offense. I still think there's a long way to go for them, though.
No, yeah,
Like,
we're not saying they're gonna be the best team in the thing, but like
Yeah.
for that division,
Yeah.
I
They could
It's similar to
win that
Phillies, really.
division at least. They can even add a pitcher at the deadline.
Obviously, though, it's the first game of the season. We can't.
Oh,
like, we
I'm
don't-
not, I'm not basing it. Because, I'm not
Just
saying that
basing on the
because they
roster
won today.
construction,
I'm just
yeah.
basing it on the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
that's
think
the thing, yeah.
AL Central.
Tigers for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I think
Tigers.
Tigers.
Also.
I think
for
the
me-
Royals
for
could
me-
surprise a lot of people though, but I am gonna go
Who?
with the Royals.
They could.
They could
They have
surprise.
way-
I'm not
yeah,
saying
but-
they're gonna win,
I don't know.
but I'm gonna go with the Tigers. Obviously, they had
Schoolball,
a good postseason
Yeah,
run
they're-
last
yeah.
year.
team.
Yeah.
They were also for a lot of the half last year. They were at first in the AL.
And they had,
Yeah.
So they were
they had a
above the
terrible
Jays.
last month, and then they just
So
lost it.
It could
they
be
were fine.
possible they could come out on top, or we
so
could
too.
see the Jays again win the AL East or win the AL. Right?
I mean,
We
it was all so close until like that last month. Like Detroit
Yeah.
supposed to finish first place, and they're a wild card team.
Yeah.
Like it's all gonna be.
that
so
was
close.
crazy how Cleveland jumped them. That was
Yeah,
that was something
that was
else.
crazy. And that's the thing with Cleveland. Like, they can get so hot at any time, but they
Yeah.
can also become so cold that their
Right.
bats can go dry for a long period
Yeah.
of time. And I don't trust them. I think they'll be tough. I think they're gonna have a really tough time even getting in a wild card spot this year.
Yeah.
It's just like, if they're not gonna win that division, getting in the playoffs in the way that the AL is now this year, with obviously the upstart teams like the Athletics and obviously everyone's expecting Baltimore to bounce back this year, and then you got obviously the Astros, who are kind of like, we don't know what they are yet. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really, really tough. I think the Yankees and the Red Sox as well. If we all think the Jays are gonna win the division, and what if the Yankees pass us and it's us and the Red Sox in the wild card? We have one more spot left, and it's a crazy pool of teams in the AL.
So
I don't know.
I want to move on to the NBA. Now, I saw a post the other day on Twitter about the MVP race, and there was a guy saying that on his MVP ballot.
Here we go.
Have you seen this?
Was it
Did he vote for Luka Doncic?
Was it your ballot?
No, it wasn't.
wasn't?
My,
Okay.
it
No,
wasn't my
oh,
ballot.
really?
But
Sure
this,
enough.
you want to hear what this guy said?
Go ahead.
Jaylen Brown won,
Oh wow,
Wemby 2, and Shea 3.
that's pretty nuts. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy.
I mean,
talk about Boston Celtics favorism there.
no, I'm sorry. Just Jaylen Brown, he doesn't have the numbers as well. Obviously, he has the value to his team. Obviously, Tatum's been hurt, but Boston's got a lot of depth.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. Just because they had Tatum, we all knew they were still going to be good.
Yeah.
Okay,
was
so he
that?
also has depth.
They do.
No,
And
but
those guys were hurt.
No, but the best player was up for the whole year, and they were still top three.
LeBron and Austin Reeves
the
were
East,
out
sorry.
for.
What about LeBron?
He was out for 21 games. Austin Reeves was out for 28
No,
games.
we can't get we can't compare that with
We can't
this
compare
other
that with
situation.
Williams and Holmgren and Caruso.
No.
Anyways, let's get back on track. So Jaylen Brown, I mean, that would be pretty ridiculous to say he's MVP. Obviously, I get the value he brings to his team, but like I said in the previous episode, it's got to be Shea and then Jokic second.
Yeah, I don't know.
I could see Brown top 5, but definitely
I don't
top
know,
three.
man.
They can't be top 3.
There's a player in the league who's averaging like 40 points in his last 10 or 11 games.
He'll
I
be
don't know
top
if you heard of
3.
that. He has to.
He's
I think he has to
He'll
be
be top
top
3.
2. See, I've been hearing a lot that Jokic isn't even top 3 anymore. It's Wemby, Luka,
No.
and Shea. And I mean, that's not a bad take. Like, I think that it makes sense for Wemby. To be fair, look at how good his team is.
Yeah.
Like, look at how good they're right up there with OKC, and you can't deny that they are right
Yeah.
there.
I mean, the saying is so serious.
He's their only superstar.
So I'm not gonna like say that I think it's Wemby flat out, but I think it's between. I think it's a two horse race right now. I think it's between Shea and Luka, in my
No.
opinion.
Jokic.
I think it's
The
between Shea
voter,
and
well,
Luka.
at least the voters will see it. It's going to be Shea or Jokic.
I don't know, man. I don't think so. I can't agree with that because it's just like Shea has done a lot for his team, and I agree with that, right? I'm not disagreeing like his value and that he is an amazing player, but he's not doing what Luka is doing right now. What Luka is doing is unheard of. It's historical. It's like, do you remember James Harden's run in 2018? Remember how good that was?
Yeah, but that
And
was also,
Luka's
he
putting up
was
numbers
the, he
on
was
defense
the widespread.
too.
He
You
was
can't
the
say he's a
obvious
bad
one.
defender. He's top 10 in
No,
steals.
He is,
He
though.
hasn't been great defensively.
He's
never
top
been a
10
good
in steals.
defender.
He's
that,
one
doesn't,
point.
that doesn't mean he's great defensively. He still has
His defensive
flaws.
rating when he's on the floor, what the Lakers
It's
are
improved, but
115.
he's still nice.
When he's off the floor, it's 121.
I still wouldn't.
Well, it's
consider
That
him
says a
great
lot.
defender,
That says
but
a
he's
lot.
good
It's a
defender.
6 point,
He's
6 point
improved.
plus.
He's improved. That's
He's
good for him.
improved.
So-
I'll give him that. But here's the argument for Shea, and why I always say he's going to win MVP is the consistency. He scores at least 20 points every night
Yeah.
before he gets benched.
He
and they're
broke that
blowing-
record too.
So
right?
does
Was
Luka.
it Chamberlain's record that he broke?
No,
or was
not
it,
every night.
Whose record was it that he broke?
Will Chamberlain's
It was
record.
Chamberlain's record,
Almost
right?
every night.
No.
You can't
Shea's done
base it off of
everything.
consistency
Shea-
though.
You can
You can.
because
You
every single night I know that if Shea is on the court, that team has a chance to
20
win.
plus
That's
points
Of
for
course,
that many
when
games is
Luka's on
crazy.
the court, he has a chance.
No.
When Lakers have a chance, when every
Lakers
time
don't have a chance every night. They've been some nasty blowouts.
they're winning. They've won 10 out of their last 11 games.
I'm talking earlier in the season.
Earlier in the that's
it'll
the
be-
beginning
it'll
of the
be-
season.
it'll be
Well,
Luka's
it's still
so much better.
everything counts.
Everything does count, but I think now as you get to the end of the season, stuff starts to count more. The minutes get closer. The games are more valuable. You need your guys to step up. And right now, Luka's stepping up in the biggest way possible. He's the best player in the NBA. In this moment right now, he's playing the best basketball in the NBA. I can say that confidently. He's averaging what, like 40 something and something.
If you're
like
talking
something.
about this moment as in the last 10 games, maybe, but this
He
season,
is.
no.
It's not close. Shay's an amazing player, but he's also like, okay, yeah, he's a great defender too. I'm gonna give him props, but also his team, the build around his team, their coaching is great. And if Shea left that team, and you had J-Dub, you had Chet, you had all your guys on that team, I still see them as a contender. I don't think if you take Luka off the Lakers, are they contender? No.
We don't.
In
Well,
my
the
eyes,
Lakers
no.
are not a contender to begin with.
I think they are now.
No, they lost.
think
They
they
got
are now.
destroyed in the first round. LeBron's not getting any.
Okay,
younger. I don't
forget
believe in this team.
LeBron. I think if you take LeBron off the team, I think Luka's still carrying that load. I think he's still that guy.
Well, sure.
So that's my point. I think Luka is the most valuable player. Like your point with Celebrini. If you take Celebrini off the Sharks, what are the Sharks?
They're terrible.
Exactly. If you
But
take Luka
I'm
off
saying,
the Lakers, they're
look,
nothing.
look what happened. What if you took Shea off the Thunder this year, especially?
They would
much
still
would
be. They would still be top
They're,
3
they're
in the
first
West.
in the league. Yeah, top 3. That's still a big drop off from the first to the fourth
It's
guy.
not-
It's pretty big
not
drop.
really.
And you have
It's
to
like
take
6
into account
games.
this team has been injured all season. That's what I keep saying.
They have, yeah, but
Jay
also
doesn't-
the Lakers have been injured. Austin Reeves is out 21 games. LeBron's out 28 games, something like that. I don't know
He
which
came with
way
the
it is, but
numbers. He came ready. He came ready with the numbers, man. That's
I mean,
I'm just saying. You want to talk about missed games? LeBron is an impact player. You know that he can impact the game in multiple ways. And Austin
I
Reeves,
think
Austin
J-Dub
Reeves
being
is
out is worse than having LeBron out at this point in his career.
I don't know
100%.
if I agree with that. I think LeBron's overall play and also his veteran leadership brings so much to the
Yeah,
table.
that's not about numbers. We're
He's a
talking about Luka's
4-time
numbers.
champion. Still, would you want Sidney Crosby on your team or not?
Oh, of
you would
course.
want him on your
But
team.
that doesn't
exactly.
mean a guy's doing good numbers because of his leadership. Also, what we have to take into account, Shea is sitting so much time because there's blowouts,
Yep.
for example.
Yep. Yeah.
He sits on the bench. He's not getting those same point totals, those same chances Luka's getting.
that's
Sure.
a good point.
I think efficiency leans in Shea's way for sure. I agree with that. But you also got to look at the quality shots. Luka's probably taking a couple more threes than
That
Shea
will be
is.
noted in the MVP because look at Harden. Harden took ISO'd every single play, took 45 yards. Step
See,
back,
I think
spins,
that's
and hit him
honestly,
in.
I think efficiency matters. If I see a guy who's like way more efficient than another guy, I'd prefer okay, it depends on the point
Vendor
totals.
Center would win every year.
But if
though.
I saw
Jokic has won a lot.
if I saw Shea averaging 30 on 18 shots, I would vote for Shea because that's crazy efficient. The usage isn't as high, but Luka's usage is very high in the NBA. I think it's a 37%
Yeah,
usage,
it's always been high for him.
something
yeah.
like that, and that shows. The guy is probably exhausted right now. He's playing almost every game in this season. Well, actually, I don't think so because NBA players barely play. But point is that I think Luka is honestly there's a pretty clear-cut argument for him to win MVP over Shea, and I think it's a lot closer than a lot of people think.
I feel like for me it's closer for again there's no clear guy for me right now, but there's so many guys it could be anyone. It could be any of the four really.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I
But,
don't.
so obviously some cases have more built for each other, but
Yeah, I think Wemby's out. Honestly,
No.
I don't think Wemby's.
I
Because
don't know.
obviously his
I don't know.
defensive play is great, but what is he averaging? 24 points a game, I think. 24, 25.
And to
something
be
like
fair,
that.
half of the year he was on a minute restriction for half
Yes.
the year, and he was still killing it on a minute
True.
restriction. And the team has completely changed.
Yeah,
from there.
but
they were they missed the playoffs by a long shot last
Okay,
year.
would you-
They're
okay, let me
second,
ask you
they're
this.
fighting with these guys for number one.
would you rather have Wemby on your team or Jokic at this moment?
Jokic.
Wemby, because he's younger.
Oh, what do you mean by at this moment?
Like
for,
like
the rest
right
of
now
the season?
for the rest of the season.
Oh,
yeah.
Jokic.
Oh, then Jokic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I thought you meant like to build a roster around.
no,
but,
no, no,
but
no,
in
no,
terms
no.
of,
Right
like,
now,
here,
right now,
Jokic.
more valuable.
Yeah,
You'd
yeah.
rather have Jokic, right?
Yes.
Although Jokic is worse on defense, but he's much better on offense.
He can-
He's what, averaging 29,
I
10,
mean,
and 10.
Triple
Jokic
double,
is
yeah,
a bit
he's fantastic.
inconsistent on offense.
This year he has
but
been.
His,
This year he has
his
been.
yeah, but-
rebounding is a thing. His playmaking.
His playmaking, his rebounding is always going to
Second
be
to
good.
none,
But
man.
I think that the thing with Jokic is more about like his efficiency is very good, like very good. He can take like
Yeah.
15 shots and drop like 30. It doesn't go to the free throw line too much as like guys like Shea and Luka. Obviously, they're the tops
Yeah.
in the league in that.
Yeah, and then,
Who's number one though?
It's Luka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't know
Next time
that.
people call.
Yeah,
Shea
because they're
for
actual
something.
real fouls. Did you see there was a foul called against Shea against Boston? It was a Derek White foul. You didn't even touch
Oh,
him.
that one I saw.
And it was
That
like the
one
end of
I
the
saw.
game.
That
They
was
didn't
a
even
bit-
touch him.
that
It was
was a
such a
bit
bad
ridiculous.
call.
They
And
do
I'm
love
like,
giving the whistle
look,
to him, but-
I think they kind of have a bit of leeway with Shea because they know like he creates plays and he gets a lot of foul calls. So the refs do have a bit more leeway with him because he is a superstar and he's a former MVP and he's a champion. But in my opinion, I think most of his foul calls are pretty warranted. He drives like he's not a mid-range shooter as much as Shea is. Luka drives more to the net. You know, he gets those foul calls. Like, I think sometimes Luka whines a bit. I agree with that, but I see him as more of a impact player than Shea. Like he can like drop that 40 and win a team a game if he has to.
I mean, I guess it all comes down to what you prefer. Like, I prefer a guy who's consistent. I know every single night Shea will score at least 20, probably more, because there's only been like 3 games in the season. I know he's always going to play hard on defense. He doesn't really have a flaw in his game. And he's always, every single night, that team, even with Caruso out, Holmgren out, we can have half of our lineup out. That team has a chance to win.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
But I think still, I'll give props to OKC. They've done a really good job like building their team to have that depth, to have that like insurance if you have guys out, right? So I think even with like guys like Caruso and Hartenstein or whoever is out, they're still a competitive team, right? Irregardless of the injuries. Obviously, without Shea, I think they fall off a bit more, but not like a lot to where it's like if the Lakers lost Luka, I don't think they would fall off that much. Like if the Lakers lost Luka, I think they wouldn't even be in a playoff spot right now. I would say.
No,
That's my
there's some
opinion.
pretty
No.
bad teams.
No,
The West is good though this year.
No.
The top 6 is
it's
good at least. The
terrible.
playoff spots are good. The West, the play is good.
Anyone below the 6th seed is not going to do anything. Golden State
and that's
has,
playing.
has
That's why.
plenty
So
of injuries. They're not going to do anything.
That makes the point even more. That's a play-in. 7 to 10 is a play-in. So if you're not in the playoffs, you're probably in the play-in, and you're not going to get in probably. So.
Portland's not great. There's really no one.
Yeah. So
below
they
the top
probably
6.
probably fall in there if they didn't have it. But who knows? Because Phoenix are probably I don't know. You don't know.
I don't know. It's not a
Phoenix
very.
is kind of mid too, but they're actually doing pretty well this year.
Yeah, they're not doing bad, Phoenix, but
only
they
really have-
they don't have a bad roster. I mean, do they have Mark Williams? They do,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, he's a good center. I mean, they have D-Book, obviously, but I don't see them as contenders. There's like 4 contenders in the league, in my opinion, or 5 maybe if you count the Lakers. Like, I would say Detroit. If you even consider Detroit as a 10,
It will
contender.
depends when
Depends
Cade
how
comes
long,
back.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
I
whole
would say
thing.
Detroit, Boston, and then OKC, San Antonio, and maybe the Lakers.
I say the Knicks and maybe the team.
No, I don't
I
think the
don't think
Lakers
Wiggins
could
will
win
be
it.
in there.
Honestly, nothing substantially has changed from that first round exit last year. So it's just like, okay, even though OKC and San Antonio I've got even better, how are they going to compete with them this season? How are they going to compete with Denver? Like, how can we label the Lakers as contenders when some of these teams have gotten better? They've barely added anything. How can they be contenders?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a good
They're
point.
playing very, very well. The record tells us that they're contenders, but just knowing
my
that
eyes, it's the matchups.
They don't match up with anyone
everyone
well.
gets
That's
a
the
hot
thing.
streak at some
To
point.
me, it's the matchups. Like who's going to guard Wemby, right? You don't have a guy who
Nobody.
can guard Wemby. Exactly. That's what. But also for OKC, who's going to guard Wemby? Chet.
Like,
He's
gets a
gonna
couple
hold
balls
his
a game.
ground.
In my
better than
eyes, the
anyone
only guy
else.
who can guard Wemby in the entire NBA, I think, is a guy like Giannis.
Yeah.
Because he can box him out. He has the muscle. He has the strength to get on him like that.
Yeah.
And he's fast enough to keep up with him.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the longevity. Chet, yeah, I'll give you props, but I think Chet's like his lateral movement is not quick enough to keep up with him. Like his on the perimeter, I, don't
he'll
think
hold
he's
his
there.
ground. Like I don't expect him to shut him down completely, but
no
he gives us a chance on defense.
I think it's more about it's more about the game inside the game. It's not just about the Wemby Chet matchup, but also about like Stephon Castle against Shea. That's going to be a big like a marquee match. Obviously, Stephon Castle's not close to his prime yet, but once he is, I think that's going to be really fun. Like that's why this OKC San Antonio, they have to have a playoff series. That'll be so good if they have it this year or next year. It could go to 7. Oh, that'll be the best, I think. What's your this year? If there's one NBA series that you guys are looking forward to in the playoffs, which one is it going to be?
Spurs Thunder Conference Finals.
You just said it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
What else would you rather watch?
Okay, I'm just gonna give a different answer because I don't want to be like Spurs Thunder. I'm going to say I think Detroit and New York would be a really fun matchup, or even Detroit and Boston. If Shea is back, I think those will be really fun games.
Cade, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Because I think
those would be great.
I think they might get scrappy. I'm not going to lie. I think it might be a bit like, because there's more of a rivalry, right?
I'd like to see that Boston OKC final we were all expecting.
That too. I think that would be fun, but I think it would be a bit more like, I like the other ones more. I don't know. Those are like, OKC against Boston will be a good series, but I see OKC as a superior team only because I think they have more depth. But also Boston has better shooting. You know, they're both similar teams. That's why I don't really like it as much. Like San Antonio and OKC aren't really similar, and you have like, you know, okay, is Jason Tatum a superstar? And Jaylen Brown's a superstar now. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
Right.
And so is
Tatum,
it
depends what you define as superstar.
We've talked about this before. I think Brown is a superstar. I don't know if Tatum is.
That's crazy.
I mean, I don't know who's, but I think Tatum
because Tatum's been out.
I know, but you can't.
But you can't just say Brown's a superstar just because Tatum's been out.
I have to wait till Tatum.
Tatum's always been the best
Tatum's back. I totally forgot.
He is back, but
how's he playing?
The thing is, why? If I have to put one of them as a superstar for the longest time, Tatum was the number one guy on that team. Yeah. He's why they won that championship.
Well, he didn't win Finals MVP.
I mean, he was the main guy, regardless. If he
okay. This is what I'm gonna say.
The main guy
this is what I'm gonna say. As an overall player, I think Jaylen Brown is because he has better defense than Tatum. I think that's pretty obvious. Like he's actually really like one of the best defensive guards in the league. Scoring, maybe I take Tatum.
No, 100%.
Playmaking,
Tatum.
I take Tatum. I think like around the rim, I take Tatum. So there's like certain facets that they're better than each other at, but I think it's a lot closer than people think. Like I think I would consider them both as superstars.
Yeah, they are both.
But neither of them are like your generational superstars, like your Wemby, like your Shea, like your Luka, like your, you know, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they're different.
Even I could see a guy like Cade getting up to like better than those guys because
I think there's like a clear top 5 in the league.
Who do you think?
Giannis, Jokic, Shea, Luka, and Wemby. Those are the top.
Exactly.
Those are the superstars.
I agree, but
those are the guys you build your franchise.
But those are like the generational players, right? Those are the guys you're never gonna see. You know, you're not gonna see again.
Yeah.
But guys like we talk about like Cade and Jason Tatum and even Jaylen Brown. Those are like superstars, but they're not up there. They're not gonna be up there.
That makes because
they're more one-dimensional players. They're not like they don't have the. Like these guys, the top 5 players, they're all like 3-dimensional. They can play defense. They can play make. They can.
Yeah. They all have something about them. They all have something different about them.
I think they're all like so elite.
That's what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. I agree with that.
Okay. Last topic. Let's move on to the NHL.
I want to get to the Eastern Conference because that thing is.
Who cares about the West? The West does not matter. It's just irrelevant.
The West is irrelevant. The East is a bloodbath right now. That is crazy tight. Like so many teams have jumped up. The Blue Jays were out of it, and now they're in. Same with the Sens. And then the Red Wings are falling off, and so have the Islanders. It's crazy. No one's safe. Well, I can't believe it. It's nuts.
I think there are some teams who are safe. I think we could lay that out first. Let's talk about the East, like just the East. I don't care about the West. I think only 3 teams are safe, realistically. I think it's Carolina, Tampa, and Buffalo who are safe.
They're the only ones that are safe.
Now, with that being said, I think over the next week or so, we're going to know if teams are or are not safe.
No.
As time goes on.
It's going to come down to the last game of the season.
I think the reason why is because there's a lot of pivotal games, like tonight Montreal and Columbus play. Yeah. That's a pivotal game right there. If Montreal is able to win, they can gain a lot of ground on Boston. They'll have two points over with 1 game in hand. And then, obviously, I think that... See, that's the thing. Will the Islanders make it? Do you guys think Islanders make it?
No.
Or
I
no?
don't
not
know
at this
because they won a huge game over Detroit. I think it was a couple of days ago, and then they lost to Ottawa. It's just
I don't know.
Man,
you
Detroit
have,
and
you have
Ottawa,
a bad
that-
streak of 3 games that could ruin
Yeah,
your season.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Detroit and Ottawa are some of the craziest storylines this year.
Yeah.
Ottawa was throughout the season terrible goaltending.
Yeah.
They were out of the playoffs for the majority of the season.
and now they're in.
and now they're
And
in
with
the wild
injuries,
card
too.
spot with Sanderson and Shabbat out.
Yeah.
Now
and with James Reimer playing a couple of games too. Shout out James Reimer, Leafs legend right there. But it's crazy. And the Jackets too. They were
Yeah.
awful
Yeah.
for the most of the part of the season. They hired oh my God, what's his name? The former Jets coach. Oh my God,
Bonus.
Rick
Yeah.
Bonus. So they hired him, and they've been on a heater, and now they're in the playoffs, and now they're in the second seed of the Metro. I found
Yeah.
out today.
So Christian, how's your
ridiculous.
how do you feel the Penguins? Do you still feel that they're gonna make it, or
Maybe I'm 50-50 to be honest. I have no idea because everything can change within a game.
Yeah,
Obviously,
that's- yeah.
Columbus is playing really good,
yeah?
and there's still teams like everyone's within 1 point of each other.
Yeah.
We have the Penguins have had the hardest schedule in the league for like the last month, so that's another factor. And I don't know if they had like the same schedule, the same strength of schedule as like some of those other teams, I'd say yes. But just because of that, I don't know.
You
I
want
can't
my
count on it.
opinion? If I were to say, I think Pittsburgh's going to make it. I think the Isles miss.
Yeah.
Just because I think the Isles are too young to have the resilience to keep it up, like the
Yes.
pace, because now they're kind of falling off, right? I don't think they're going to pick it back up. I don't see that being realistic. I think Boston
Yeah.
has the experience, and Ottawa's been in the playoff race last year, so I think Ottawa has more poise than they do. So if I'm going to if I'm going to go clear cut right now, who's going to make it and who's not going to make it, I think it has to be this in the East, the Atlantic. I think it's going to be all 5 teams that are in right now. I don't think Detroit's going to make it.
I think so,
To
too.
me, Detroit's
I
a
agree with you
joke.
on that.
Detroit's a
No,
complete
they
joke.
always
In
have
March-
this
in March,
collapse.
yeah,
They're
in
just-
March they
they're
always
just so
collapse, yeah.
mid.
It's
In March,
Like
they
at
always
the end of
collapse.
the
It's
day,
so
they're
disappointing,
just so
man.
mid. They
Yeah.
have a few good players.
they were first in the Atlantic. When were they? I think in January, weren't they first in the Atlantic?
They're
For,
something like that.
That's crazy, man.
That's great. Yeah,
They
they always
don't
think
have
in
the
March,
talent.
yeah.
They're nowhere near
Obviously,
like a Tampa or Carolina.
no one
level.
expected for Buffalo to be this good.
Yeah.
So we can't say. But I think Detroit, to be fair, they're still a good hockey team. What are
They
they,
have good
11th or
players.
12th
They
in the
have solid
league?
little
Yeah.
players.
Like
They have
they're
a-
a good,
have
they're a
team,
damn good
yeah.
hockey team. It's just, and I know you're gonna get to this soon, but it's the fact that there's too many good teams in the East.
No.
Yeah.
Like there are so many
That's true.
elite teams.
Yeah.
Like you look at Detroit, who might miss it. The Islanders might miss it.
Yeah.
And even who else? I'm not sure who else is close.
I mean,
but
Philadelphia. They're
Philly,
they're
yeah.
not that
Yeah.
close because they're still like 5 points away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider
But
them in the race.
they
no.
would be in a playoff spot. They'd be second place.
the
in
East
the
is so
Pacific.
stacked. I think there's one team in the East that's below 500, and it's the Rangers.
Yeah.
The Leafs are above 500. I'm
Barely,
pretty
but
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like-
ridiculous.
That's
And they're
ridiculous.
second last in the East.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me.
ridiculous, man.
Just I think that it's just too many good teams in the East. Yeah, especially the Atlantic too.
it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. I don't know. I don't know who's gonna make it.
I mean,
What do you have?
I guess I'll share my hot take now. All right,
I'll go for it.
I want to rework the playoff format after seeing how terrible it is. And like this year, it's usually not a problem most years, but just because of this year and like how these teams who are finishing like 20th in the league are get in, I'd say we keep the conferences for scheduling purposes in the regular season. And then once that's all over with, we move to a 1-16. And a proposal for the travel would be we do like the MLB. It would be 2 home, 3 away, 2 at home. They're millionaires at the end of the day. I think they can put up with that travel for like 2 months if you have to go across the country, say for round 1. I think it's very doable.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree with that because it allows for much more like competitive series as well. You have like 4 versus 13, 5 versus 12, 6 versus 11, 7 versus 10. I think it's so much better, honestly. It's
And the
crazy.
teams that are top 16, we don't have anything where it's like, oh, you're 13th in the league, but sorry, this team in the Pacific who is like 19th place in the league, they're going to host a playoff series now. Or we're going to have the teams like Minnesota and Dallas who are like both top 5 in the league. You got to play each other in the first round. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. It's so stupid. It kills the point. It kills the entire point of the game. And it's like, okay, why are you gonna have two of the best teams in the league play each other.
Yeah.
Literally, it could have been the two best teams, like the top, like what is it? Are Minnesota and Dallas 2 and 3? No, they are. No.
Not in the league.
No, I think Minnesota's like 5th or something, right?
Isn't it like 4 or
fifth.
5?
Dallas
Yeah.
is second.
Dallas is second.
sorry,
See, you have like
yeah,
2
they're
versus
around there,
5,
yeah.
but then you have like a team like Edmonton, who's what? Or not even Edmonton, sorry. Vegas. Vegas has been. You know what's crazy? I saw a
Vegas
stat
is
today.
19th in the league, I think.
I saw a stat today with Vegas. You want to know something crazy? They've been trailing the most this year. Their team has been trailing another team the most.
Yeah,
For, like even below the Canucks. Isn't that crazy to think about?
that's crazy.
And they're gonna
Yeah.
make the playoffs.
And maybe
like-
host a playoff series.
Yeah,
That's
as of now they would, I
crazy to
think.
me, man.
And then on top of that, the winner of that Dallas series, Dallas, you're the second in the league. You won a playoff series. Here's your reward. In the second
The
round, you're
first
going to
of
play
all-
the Avalanche.
The best team in the league. Enjoy.
It's so stupid.
It's terrible.
They've got to do
it's
something.
It's pretty nuts.
But it seems like there's no movement towards it. Like I don't think they're gonna do it. Like
They won't
it's
do it
not-
because
it's not
obviously
realistic.
they don't
won't-
want to do
they
the
won't
travel.
Do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to change. This is a terrible format.
I gotta say, I like the argument that you have. The only thing I'd say that they should do, like before they get to that point, because it is a pretty big step to make.
Yes.
The first thing they have to do 100% at any point, whether it's next year or the next 5 years, is do let's do the 1 to 8.
Yes,
in the East
and then
the West,
gradually
in the
move
NBA.
Yeah.
Another
And then
another.
That should
Go
be
ahead.
that for sure. I think that has to be done at some
Yeah.
point soon.
And also, what I wanted to mention is that any team could play any team in any round. We could see down the road a Montreal Toronto final. Like you should
Yeah.
see those teams that are in the same conference.
Yeah.
That adds to that.
They could
yeah, that
still
adds
meet
to
in the
something to it,
playoffs.
yeah.
You're not, even though the conferences are limited, they could still meet in the first round. Second
Any
round.
team can
But
play
they
in any round, yeah.
They can also play in any
That
round.
adds to that. Yeah.
That would be
Like,
that
so
adds
good.
Could you
something separate to it,
imagine
yeah.
Montreal versus Toronto in the final, or big rivalry? Montreal
Montreal,
versus
Boston, yeah.
There's so
Toronto,
many teams that
Boston,
can do
yeah.
it,
Pittsburgh,
right?
Washington.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Any-
Pittsburgh, Washington.
Even the Battle of Pennsylvania.
That
Pittsburgh,
would be-
Philly, like,
Pittsburgh, Philly would be better. I
Pittsburgh,
think.
Philadelphia
great.
would be
There's
good.
so
The
many-
Pittsburgh,
Battle of
Washington,
Alberta, like,
the
that'd be
Pittsburgh,
crazy.
Washington rivalry exists for one reason. It's because it's Sidenovi. That's the
Yes.
only rivalry.
I mean,
there.
it's continued. It's still a big rivalry.
It is, but
Or
yeah,
you could
'cause
also
Sidenovi is still there.
see, not if Pittsburgh and Edmonton both don't end up making the finals, they can play in the first round. They can play in the second round.
You know, it'd be a really,
Interesting
really
to see,
good,
yeah, that'd be cool.
fun final series that's underrated as hell. Would be the Rangers versus the Islanders.
That'd be really
Yeah.
That would be
cool.
so
That'd
good.
be crazy
right?
fun,
It's like
too.
you
I
get
heard
the
about
Mets
New York
Yankees,
team.
right?
Yeah.
Subway
Or maybe the
Series,
NHL
yeah.
should do that. They should do what the
That'd be
MLB does,
cool.
the NL West, like stuff like that. Maybe they should do
No,
that.
that's
I don't
true
know.
because it still has the same division where it's like you
Yeah.
win your division, you go. That's the way. Even the NFL, it does it so terribly because you have
Yeah.
the Carolina Panthers who are what 8-8 or 8-9,
Yeah,
and
something
then
like
you
that.
host a
9-8,
playoff
yeah.
game against the Rams who are 13-4.
Yeah.
But they couldn't win the division because Seattle's 14-3. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
terrible.
it's crazy. It's crazy, yeah. Yeah, well, that's going to finish it up for today's episode. We want to thank you all very much for watching this episode. Make sure you like this video and subscribe if you really enjoyed this one. Make sure you check out our Instagram and our TikTok pages. We're also on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for us today. We'll see you guys next week. That's Joseph. That's Christian. I'm George. We're the Spread Podcast, and we are out of here. See you next week.